they would go over to their mortar and pestle, and they would throw in some chili, some ginger, and a few other spices, and just mix it all together. Then they would go over to the horse, hold still, little fella, and with the mixture go up into the no-no area.
No! No! Oh, God. So, the internet historian dropped a new video. I think, was it yesterday? Yeah, it was. On Incognito mode, even fancier on drinking. The last one that we saw was on wine. And that was quite fun. This one is, well, just about drinking in general. So let's see what cultures this might have to do with.
Brought to you by Incognito. All right, we've done theatre, we've done painting, we've done wine, and now it's time to do some drinking stuff in general. And to start, let us learn about the drinking cultures of the world.
Hold on. Oh my God. I pointed something out. Yeah, I uploaded that video yesterday on the Seth video that we have a vegan arc going on here. So my lovely girlfriend made this drink to me. This is 30% apple, 30% carrot, and the rest is a bloody ginger. She's trying to kill me. I almost freaking spit it out. So I needed to sip it slowly. I didn't. Mistakes. Oh, it's hot.
Welcome to my private jet. Come on, kid. I got a lot to teach you about the world. We must learn all of the drinking customs of all the funny foreign places.
Germany?
Starting with where drinking was invented.
Oh.
The country of Uck.
UK. Oh,
The trick is to jump just before you hit the ground. Observe British people in their natural habitat. Here they do a thing called cheers, where they clink their glasses together before drinking. Cheers. The tradition dates back centuries, but the origin, why they started doing it, is somewhat unknown. But we have a couple of theories. Theory one, poisoning. Yes. So imagine a situation like this. Two people who don't trust each other, sitting down together at the pub. This guy then does something shady to the other guy's drink.
Wow.
Here you go. Did you poison my drink?
No,
Me?
don't be
I would
silly.
never. Well then, I'll pour a little of mine into yours, and you can pour a little of yours into mine, and we'll both either be totally fine or both totally dead. No, there's no need to do that. So that was the initial version, and then eventually they just kind of shortcutted it to, yeah, clink clink, it's fine, I trust you. But
Perhaps.
that's probably a myth. So, theory number 2, ghosts. Right, in the Middle Ages, people were worried about spooky ghosts and spirits.
Okay.
So they'd do cheers very loudly to scare away the demons. Also, sometimes...
Hey, hold on. What game is this? Is that Deliverance? It looks like it.
You'd spill some of your drink onto the table and the floor, and then that was like a little offering to the spirit.
Okay.
But that's probably also not true. The most likely answer is simply that everyone likes that sound. It's very satisfying.
Jesus.
There's more. You know when someone drops a glass and everyone goes kind of silent, like, oh, you fucking idiot? Well, in the UK, instead, everyone goes, way, in celebration, as a way to make fun of you, but also make you feel not so bad.
Another.
Uh-oh. The BBC? They have a whole organization for that now? We gotta get out of here. We'll take my private cruise ship. Come to England,
okay,
where they
thanks.
filmed the Mario movie. Let me just park this here.
Chad, is this actually real?
Come this way to the Leaning Tower of Pizza.
Yeah.
Held up by the raw strength of 1,000 tourists posing for photographs. But did you know that Italians, when they say cheers, say chin chin?
No. Don't they say... Yeah, okay, he's right here at the bottom. Salute. Yeah, yeah, I've heard chin chin before, but saying salute, I think, is a bit more common in the same way that now the Portuguese cousins would say, well, a little bit separated, the Spain in between, but they say saúde. So yeah, kind of the same thing.
Now, that is very funny to the Japanese, because in Japanese, chin-chin
Penis.
means penis.
Yeah.
Germany next. Now, here they do Bruderschaft,
Yeah.
where you link your arms together when drinking. It's also kind of
Bruderschaft.
seen all over the world at weddings in particular, but only the Germans have a name for it. It symbolizes the end of formalities between two people. But
The best way of doing it is with Das Bierboot. Oh my god, this makes me this takes me back when I was like 16 or something. Back when I drank. I had like a period of 2 years where I actually drank, like between 16 and 18. Because a thing that is traditional here is that once you become 16, you either go get a confirmation if you are Christian or a non-formation. Now, I was not specifically Christian, but like we were traditionally Christian, and my mom insisted that I would get a confirmation. So obviously we did. And from that point on, you're kind of like allowed to drink. The thing that we say is that you enter the stage of adulthood. So yeah, you start behaving like an adult, which apparently in Denmark involves drinking. So we love to partake in our beverages. And from that point on, it's just downhill. Many tend not to recover until they reach like the age of 30. Let's be totally honest here, guys. For the Danes in the audience, we drink a lot. And there's 21, of course, when you're American. So you guys are a little bit behind. We get to drink 2 years before we turn 18, and at 18, or actually 17 and a half, we can take a driving license. So, yeah.
Germans have a lot more. Now, when you clink glasses together with someone, you have to look them directly in the eye.
Jesus.
And if you don't do it, you will be cursed with 7 years of bad sex, apparently. It's not my fault. It's the Germans. Then when doing shots in Germany, they sometimes also go Zermit, and you hold the glass near your belly.
That's all.
Zertit,
Oh, a tit.
and you hold it near your chest. And then Zamsak, and you hold it near your, and then Zak, and you drink. Now, on to Finland. They keep it casual. They have a custom
the jumping on the
specifically
sofa.
for drinking alone. You're supposed to do it while loafing around in your underpants, and it's called Kalsari Kani.
Funny enough, I did promise, and I'm sorry that I'm late with it, but it is cooking. My summer car video will be coming next month. And during that one, I went through a bunch of stories about Finland, and actually some interesting one on racing, but I stumbled on those. They're freaking hilarious. The Finnish people, that's why they're the most happy in the world. They're so carefree.
Also known as underwear drunk. All right, that's all I could find on Finland. So off to Canada. To get there,
By the way, I am not saying that drinking is the best thing in the world, okay? Drink in moderation if you ever want to engage in those. Just want to make it clear. Some alcoholic Olympians might be joining the chat and being like, yeah, brother, you're one of us. I'm not.
I booked us a private fishing trawler. It's so exclusive that even these fish, yes, they go to a private school.
Bruh.
In Newfoundland, Canada, they have the Newfoundland screech. You take a shot of screech, and then you do the screech. It goes like this.
Is you a screecher? And then you answer like this. Deed I am, me old cock, and long may your big jib jaw. That's it.
It's a pirate culture. Then they take a big fish, usually a cod, and they kiss it on the lips.
I'm sorry, what?
Anyway, I'm kind of busy, so there's no more customs anywhere in the world. You can do some more, maybe independent research yourself. I'll see you back in the field.
Are you serious? Some pirate thought that what? He encountered a mermaid or something. I was like, hey, that sweet old lass. She might be a boss, but Okay, I'm not gonna finish that sentence. What? Oh, we have a. So what's the word then when you're Canadian? What do you call it? A Mabel bro? That speech make me act up.
This next section is on cocktails. So it all started when we made this asset where the IH character, he's shaking a cocktail at a frat party, and I turned to the editor and I went, wait a minute, that's a weird word. Why are they called cocktails? And we started Googling it, and we kind of went down a rabbit hole, and it was actually really interesting. So here it is.
Hazy fire.
Cocktails. In the 1700s, fuel prices were outrageous. So everybody used the horse.
Horse.
Now, horses weren't just used for travel, they were also used for work in the field.
Oh, Nox. Started pronounced right. Nox. Interesting. Because we have Kiwis, we have Oibrovs, and then we have Nox. Oh, well, nee, hold on. Yeah. Canadians, Australians, Brits. Good.
Fields. So you would sometimes put a harness on a horse for plowing a field, right?
Oh.
It's
I see, the tail. Right.
tail actually
Like
gets
that
in the
of a
way,
cock.
and so we have to do something about that thing.
Cut it off.
Think of it like the foreskin of the horse. You put it in the guillotine, and everybody closes their eyes. Problem solved. Now, this practice is called docking. It has a different meaning these days. So once the tail is docked, some say it's much easier to clean. But it also kind of looks like a chicken's tail, right?
Yeah.
Hence, they would call these tails
Cocktails.
So that's step one in the story. Step two, you've also got horse merchants, right? And they are a very shrewd bunch. They know that when they sell their horses, the customer wants very feisty and energetic animals. Someone who's buying a horse doesn't want one that's kind of sickly or lazy or sleeping all the time, right? They need it for work. So how do you ensure then that your horse looks full of beans, moxie, and some other stuff and has the maximum horsepower possible when it's time to sell? Well,
I'm still infuriated by the fact that the unit of measurement of a horsepower is not just single horse. Like a horse is actually 15 horsepower. Who made these units? Why? Have I ever heard of Michael Reeves? Okay. Terminally online brain here. You mean the YouTuber? Or who are we talking about? The guy with the goldfish. Okay, I'm gonna look it up. Michael Reeves. Yeah, this guy? Because this guy I know. He entered the YouTube boxing thing, and he's actually pretty good at programming.
they would use this one quick hack. All the equestrians hate him. They would go over to their mortar and pestle, and they would throw in some chili, some ginger, and a few other spices, and just mix it all together. Then they would go over to the horse, and hold still, little fella, and let the mixture go up into the no-no area. Now, the horse doesn't like that very much, so it's kicking, it's going mad, and the bidders are all going, wow, this is a really great horse. It's got some...
No. Oh God. Okay, so to be fair, giving people suppositories, as well as animals, and also enemas, yeah, you heard that right, were very popular at the time. Actually, they made it all the way to the early 1900s. One of the biggest proponents of those kind of practice was none other than a funky Henry Kellogg's. Listen, if you're American and there are certain practices in your life that you think are pretty fucked up, trace them all the way back to the dude who made the freaking cornflakes. I swear to God, I read part of his biography, I'm not done with it. The man is a fucking menace. I can't believe that so much of the customs in the US are based on that dude. We should check a video on him at some point. Maybe not today, perhaps on another stream. It'll be hilarious to talk about him. But yeah, suppository chili on a horse, that's kind of feels like animal abuse. because it pretty much is. But, whew.
Some spunk, I tell ya. I'm buying it. So the horse merchants made a whole bunch of money. And everyone was happy. Well, almost everyone.
Let's put it this way. The reason as to why circumcision is more or less still practiced, beside even outside of religious reason in the US, is basically because of Henry Kellogg. He wanted to stop people from masturbating. That was one of his biggest purpose, and one of the ways that he wanted to do that through was to getting people on a vegan diet. Vegetarian diet, not vegan, to be more precise. Vegetarian diet. Actually, one of the reasons why he went with cornflakes or cereals. Yeah. Dude had a dementor in him.
The end of step 2. Now step 3. Around the same time, you've got bartenders over in the saloon, and they have just invented the science of mixology. They've realized that you can add Red Bull and lemon juice to stuff and actually make alcohol not taste so bad. But when they added some ginger and spices and maybe a little bit of pepper, people went, oh, I know these. These are those horse suppositories. Cocktails, we'll call them. Glug, 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 glug. And the name stuck. Do you think it's too early for ad time? I don't think it's too early for ad time. Oh no, help me, Incognito Man. I signed up for discounts at a retail store and they won't stop sending me messages. Huh? I signed up to that website years ago. Why are they still spamming me?
That would be my doing. I am database man.
What?
Who
Oh,
will
it's not
stop
Nord
him?
anymore.
It's me, Incognito Man. Incognito is the brilliant service that tells a whole bunch of databases and people who have your data and stuff to get fucking lost. It says, hey, do you have this email address? Well, lose it. Hey, marketer man, you can't use this phone number anymore. Instead of chasing them all up manually by signing up to Incognito, they send these legal requests on your behalf. To get...
I like the fact that despite him not advertising for Nord, he still goes hard with it. But this is a bit more fitting though, for incognito mode, actually.
You deleted from the internet.
Let us do battle in my realm.
And then we teleport to the desert.
I better follow him. Incognito portal.
Good of you to finally join us.
Yeah, well, I'm gonna stop you. Incognito lawyer powers, legal threats, data removal tools, Consumer Privacy Act, data protection regulations, polite yet stern wording.
Wow.
It has created
Together for
a Gundam. So go to incognito.com/incognito. Sign up today and get 60% off an annual plan. I won't change numbers. I won't change email addresses. I'll just simply take them back. I can feel it working. My phone isn't ringing as often. My email inbox, it's less full with just a whole bunch of shit. And like the sun comes out, the clouds clear.
My databases are getting too light. I'm floating away.
Wow.
He'll die of the cold eventually.
Pan up and it's Nord Man. He's like, not bad, kid. Not bad at all.
So go to incognito.com/incognito. Sign up today and get 60% off an annual plan.
This man literally has created his own cinematic universe, and we all didn't notice.
Ad over. Have you heard about the latest dangerous trend? It's all over social media. Wine mixed with watermelon. A combination when mixed together makes a deadly poison. Here we are in Argentina with a delicious watermelon. Now let me chase it down with a glass of wine. Okay, it's not true. But it's been a myth in South America for over 100 years that you should never pair wine and watermelon together.
Why?
No one quite knows why. But we dug and we were able to find a single source from an author, Facundo di Genova. And he says, in probably Argentina, probably sometime in the 1800s, there was a small Catholic church and everything was great. For a time.
Everything was
They grew
great.
wine for dinner and watermelon for dessert. Until one day, something bad happened in their idyllic little town. A few men in the village started getting a bit grabby. It was a whole Me Too thing, but it was the first Me Too. It was a me one. No one quite knows who did what to whom, but it was a big scandal, I tell you. And it kept happening.
Oh no, what's happening to our beautiful village?
They said in their funny foreign accents. Now, presiding over the village was a monastery. So the priests all gathered together at this monastery to figure out what the hell's going on with all this grabbiness,
Yeah, this town sucks now.
said the women folk.
I hope you have the plan to fix this.
Yes, of course we do. But first, we must figure out why the men are becoming so grabby. Come on, guys, think outside the box. We have to find something, anything to blame, except the people who actually did the thing. So the priests began looking at the diets of the people in the village. The priest said aloud. One of the monks proposed a theory. Have you noticed that we grow a lot of grapes here? Yes. And have you noticed that we also grow a lot of watermelon? Yeah. Well, what if, somehow it makes
He had to do it. He had to do it.
the men folk grabby? That must be it. We must put a stop to this. But how? Well, let's tell them that if they drink wine and eat watermelon, they'll go to hell. Okay, so that's what they did. Hear ye, do not drink wine and then eat watermelon. You'll go to hell.
Oh, really? Really? I don't know that. Maybe it's really.
And it worked. The assaults suddenly stopped. Hurrah! Although whether that was a coincidence, we don't actually know. Over time, however, the messaging kind of evolved. Because don't mix wine with watermelon isn't exactly a well-known Bible proverb, and people became less religious. So instead of, you'll go to hell, the line changed to, it's poison and you'll die. And in Argentina, in some places, the myth still perpetuates. Now, is there actually any evidence at all?
Of course not.
That pairing wine and watermelon together really causes the mood? Kinda. Watermelon contains an amino acid, Arginine, which partially transforms into nitric oxide, and then nitric oxide is a vasodilator. And vasodilators do this.
Yes.
Plus, wine also has polyphenols, and that also helps in the formation of nitric oxide, so double this.
Which is why, people say that it helps one relax as well. So consuming a glass of wine is not a bad thing here and there, but don't drink it too much.
But the effect from nitric oxide is actually very mild. Also, all of these foods have polyphenols and arginine in them as well. So pretty much everything has it. So, no, the effects are likely hugely overstated. So, the moral of the story is...
don't believe in bullshit. There was nothing.
This next section is on wine in the Bible. Sort of. Apologies if we got any details wrong. We mostly kept this section because we liked the pun on Eucharist.
Oh, no. We're getting into that point. The Eucharist myths. Also the Eucharist miracle. That's when? 1700 as well? I think it is. The whole thing with the flesh, the body of Christ from the freaking thing that you get at the altar turning into actual flesh. Yeah. John chapter 2. Or is it John? Oh boy. John 2 or John 4? Bible teacher will be looking at me right now. Don't you know your verses? Used to be a thing that I would remember all the time. Yes, the Eucharist, the Eucharist miracle was an actual event that made the rounds all over the world. It wasn't in the 1700s. What am I talking about? It was a bit later than that. But some priest said that he went on the altar, ate the bread, but it tasted like human flesh. But because the thing literally went through the transfiguration. That's a thing that if you are Catholic, for the most part, they truly believe in a lot of time in actual what's the word I'm looking for here? Literalism in the Bible, that every single thing that I said in the Bible is actual literal. So whether people are talking in parables or similitude, fuck that shit. A snake truly talked. A donkey truly talked. Everything that I said there is actually real. A lot of time, at least, it is taken verbatim. So, yeah.
Jumping forward to Jesus. This is his first recorded miracle. So,
John
Jesus
2.
and a whole bunch of his followers,
I still remember.
They are invited to a wedding in Cana. Now, the waiter goes over to serve some guests some wine, and uh-oh.
It's empty.
What do you mean it's empty?
There's no more wine.
No, wait, I've got a plan, says Jesus. Bring me 6 big stone jugs, about 20 to 30 gallons each, and fill them up to the brim with H2O. Now, check out this. And he does the finger thing. And then when they went to pour the water, suddenly it was wine. And it was the best wine that anyone had ever had. And they go, oh, that's pretty good, Jesus. But have you got any other miracles? And he says, yes. Come on, we're going to do a supper. Now, everyone is gathered around, and this is the point at which Jesus reveals, by the way, one of you is very sus. I know one of you will betray me. And he looks at Judas, and Judas is kind of looking away. But then Da Vinci's like,
guys, I need you to stay still for the painting.
Wow.
So Jesus goes, watch this. And he takes some bread and wine, and he says, look at this bread. This is my flesh. And everyone's kind of like, really? And he goes, well, yeah. I mean, if you're Protestant, then just metaphorically. No, okay, look at this wine. It is my blood.
He stated
Really? Quit making this so complicated. Here, have some. So he hands it to his disciples, and they went, fantastic. I was peckish and thirsty. And he goes, yes, in fact, I shall call this little celebration a Eucharist, or Holy Communion. It will be the practice of eating one cracker or piece of bread and drinking some wine. And if you eat the whole thing and drink the whole bottle, that's called a huge Eucharist.
Wow.
Now, most Christians today take that as a symbolic thing. Unless you are Catholic. Now, they believe in what's called transubstantiation. Which means that the bread and
Transubstantiation.
wine,
Sorry, not transfiguration. That was so far off. Transubstantiation, yes.
literally turns into the body and blood of Jesus at the moment that they are consumed. However, it does still look like bread and wine, and they call that phenomenon appearance.
Let it be noted, okay? When I'm saying this thing is not to offend any Catholic out there. If you have your faith, please enjoy yourself. I'm always criticizing the scripture, but the idea that you are considered to be a heretic if you do not believe in this being literal is like, dude, really? Really?
Or accident. It has changed, but you just can't tell. Except for sometimes when you actually can. Lanciano, Italy, in the 8th century, there is a monk and he has been on r/atheism for far too long. He is starting to have doubts about the blood and wine stuff, but he still has his monkly responsibilities. So he holds mass and he says the words of consecration, this is my body, this is my blood, this is my rifle, this is my gun, and at that very moment, the bread turns into literal flesh in his hands. And the wine turns...
Oh, I am so sorry. I said, what did I say? It's 1700s. Well, I was so far off. It was in literally the 8th century. Never mind, I was off with 1,000 years.
turned to blood.
Jesus, man.
Holy shit, said everybody in unison. And ironically, he went, oh, well, I should probably not eat this then. So instead, he kept it in this chalice thing. What is it?
Yeah.
A clock? Anyway, there it remains still today, kept in the church of San Francesco. And now a couple of years later, in the 1970s, Professor Odaro Leone decides, let me do a bit of an experiment. So he took a sample of the flesh and he came to the conclusion that it was indeed real. Apparently, it was part of a heart valve and that the blood type was AB.
Okay.
The sample has not been analyzed since. However, it is officially recognized by the Roman Catholic Church.
Of course it is.
Here ends the reading. Now you might say,
Somebody killed someone and pulled their heart in there. That's my theory.
hey, wow, that section really doesn't have a whole lot to do with wine. And in fact, you're just badly retelling a Bible story.
Dude.
This final section we started making for the main channel when we found this massive court document and we thought, holy shit, this is a hell of a story. And we had all these ideas of it being like Witcher themed, and so there were...
I'm sorry, I need to read what he wrote there. Where lawyers had several cases here taking place over many years, with many different parties involved. I struggle to read anything with big words when my mom isn't around to help me sound each syllable out. All right.
The story. And we had all these ideas of it being like Witcher themed, and so there were quite a few like random Witcher assets, just ignore that. But it just kept blooming and blooming into this bigger story, and it got too long. And so here it is on Incognito. And here we begin in 1743. The birth of Thomas Jefferson. Push, Mrs. Jefferson, push.
Founding
Now, Tom
father.
Jeff, he was involved with some politics, kinda sexy, but you're too late, he's dead. But what's more important is he tried his hand at a lot of different hobbies. Architecture, he designed his own home in Monticello. He played the violin. He kept mockingbirds.
Is it where I start getting a little bit negative because it is Black History Month and start talking about the bad sides of Jefferson? I'm not gonna do that, but it would be fun though to dive into that. But this is not the appropriate video for it.
Collected fossils. And,
He was-
most relevant of all, he hoarded a culture.
Yeah, he was very much raised in the Enlightenment movement, so people who started believing less in Christ, one could say, and turned more into observing nature as like source of knowledge and whatever. So, I mean, this is of course before the time of many prominent scientists that shaped our world, but him and Benjamin Franklin, who was like his best buddy and later on opposite, or at least political opponent, were pretty much there. But yeah, he was, I wouldn't quite call him a scientist, but he did dabble a lot in natural observation.
In his extensive garden, he kept 330 types of vegetables and 170 types of fruit. One of those fruits was grapes. So he tried his hand at viniculture. And while he was good at a lot of things, he never saw much success with making wine. So he mostly collected the stuff. Now, people naturally wondered, like, hey, what happened to the wine he made and the wine he collected? Did he sell it all? Did he give it away? Did he attempt the Eucharist? Fast forward 1985. Meet German music producer Hardy Rodenstock. He is an avid wine collector, and he's tapping on the walls of old buildings in Paris looking for some national treasures. On this occasion, the wall opened and, my God. Sealed behind, he said that he found a collection of 24 bottles, dating all the way back to the 1780s, and look at that, THJ engraved right there on the glass. Thomas Jefferson. It seems like Mr. Rodenstock has stumbled upon Jeff's hidden collection. Mystery solved. And it would make sense that they wound up in France because Jefferson spent a number of years over there. Amazing. And into Rodenstock's wine collection they went. Now,
I mean, it's only fair. That's true. They might have rejected the British government, but technically one could say it's not exactly bad to want to be rich, but under which means you attain that is the thing that is kind of questionable.
Rodenstock's wine collection was something quite special, and he liked to show it off. So every year he would host tasting events that featured extremely rare wines. And he would invite all the most prominent German celebrities, such as the Hans brothers, and Das Boot, and Death Stranding. Now, one of his guests was a guy named Michael Broadbent, the senior director for Christie's auction house. Together, they cracked open one of the THJ bottles. Bottle number 1. Broadbent said that the wine was delicious. "Yup, these bottles are in perfect condition," he said. "You should really auction these things. I run an auction, you should put them in there." "Huh, maybe I should," said Mr. Rodenstock. "Maybe I should." But before they did that, they sold 2 of the bottles privately, number 2 and number 3, and they drank a 4th. On the 5th of December 1985, they put up bottle number 5 for auction at Christie's. It was bought by Christopher Forbes for £105,000.
What?
Which at the time meant it was the most expensive bottle of wine ever sold. But that wine wasn't to drink. Proudly, that thing sat on the Forbes shelf, eventually to be put into the Forbes Gallery in the exhibit on former presidents.
Holy
And
shit.
funnily enough, they actually put this bottle on display under big industrial lights, and it heated the thing something fierce, and the heat ruined its drinkability.
Yeah, of course.
In fact, so intense was the light that the glass expanded and the cork fell into the bottle.
Idiots. What do you think that they're kept in? Oh my god, in darkness. At a moderate temperature. What were they thinking?
Some time passed. They celebrated the sale with another drink. Bottle number 6, now gone. And then they sold 2 more privately. In 1987, they drank bottle number 9. In 1988, they drank bottle number 10. And at this point, a new challenger enters the scene. The White Wolf of Palm Beach. They call him Bill Koch. Some say it's short for billionaire. He's a member of one of the wealthiest families in America. And he is also...
Wait. Oh no, that's how the Koch brothers got ahead through wine? Ugh. Like, seeing the Koch brothers everywhere is never a good sign. It's them, the freaking Getty. Yeah, the Koch brothers are the ones who literally have their hands in every museum, aren't they? Let me see. Let me double check this. Yeah, it's them. Like every conglomerate museums in the world, at least not every single one, a lot of them sees them, their influence there. It's so annoying.
one of the world's most avid collectors of wine. So they sell him a total of 4 bottles for $311,804. We're way over here on the graph at this point. So, gently, careful now, he put them in his climate-controlled cellar, and he would show them off to his friends. Otherwise, here they remained for the next 17 years. As the years ticked by, more bottles were sold and more bottles were consumed, until there were none left. 2005. The 4 Coke bottles had sat around for a long time on the shelf, doing nothing, when something new happened.
Okay.
The Boston Museum of Fine Arts was interested in displaying the bottles and wanted to trace the exact provenance. So Coke gets on the line with the Jefferson Foundation and he goes, "Oh, look, I don't mean to brag, but I'm about to have my bottles displayed at the Boston Museum. But I need just a little bit of verification. Could you tell me exactly where these bottles come from?" And the Thomas Jefferson Foundation responded, "I'm afraid we can't do that. We don't think they're real."
Oh.
Yeah. In fact, you're not the only person to call about this.
God damn.
What? Yes, it was in the 80s. A Mr. Broadbent, I believe, of Christie's auction house called up trying to verify the bottles so that he could sell them. But we looked through our comprehensive historical records and found no mention of these bottles. Here's a letter we sent saying that we couldn't verify them. And they're probably fake. But he sold those bottles to me.
Yeah. Lawsuit.
Back to 1776. Now here's a thing you should know about Jefferson. Let's just say if he was around today, he would play a lot of Factorio. He was, you know.
I have the largest flag.
Yeah, some of those factories that he made had child labor now. Small slave children, child labor, that were all the way down to 10-year-old. Now, many people tend to say that, oh, he grew up in that time where child labor was totally normal, so that was fine. Yeah, okay. Just because it was a different time back then doesn't make it right, okay? In the same way that he too wanted to free the slaves, yet still own slaves himself.
Collection of Funko Pops in the world.
And that meant that his record keeping was very meticulous. All of his anime was ordered alphabetically, and so too were all the things that he ever purchased.
But one of the things that helps us know a lot about him though is that he was pretty good with his bookkeeping. So that's, I guess, it's great.
Including wine. So that's my story, Mr. Pepsi. And those bottles are probably fake. When Coke hears about this, he hangs up the phone and hits speed dial on his pager or something, and I need to assemble a team of investigators. Mr. Rodenstock lived in Germany, so Coke's investigators scoured the countryside for clues.
No, that's... Okay, so I understood that he said that he was making use of Witcher assets. That was fine with the first shot there. That's where they are in... or what's the Witcher stronghold called again? Oh, what did I not remember? It's literally the intro of the first game. Kaer Morhen. Yes. When you're preparing to the Battle of Kaer Morhen in Witcher 3, you get with Escalls and the boys and everybody, and you get yourself wasted. That was good. That made sense. But this is supposed to be French. It has nothing to do with Germany. God damn.
And eventually they found a lead. They managed to track down 5 German residents who claimed to have done engraving work for Rodenstock in the past. They said, hey, have you seen these bottles before? And they went, oh yeah, we have. We did those. And all 5 were certain that the THJ engravings were done by an electric power tool. Every one of these 24 bottles of Jefferson wine were fake. Big fat phonies. Allegedly. So, Bill takes all of this evidence to court, and Rodenstock is summoned, but he doesn't show up. So Bill wins in absentia and is awarded $1 million. In the end, Bill never received any money from Rodenstock.
No.
But to Bill, it was about sending a message more than receiving any money.
I'm coming after you.
And it's just one battle of many that Bill has fought against counterfeit wine. In 2008, Coke filed a consumer fraud lawsuit against the Chicago Wine Company, which was later settled out of court. Another time, Coke spent $3.5 million buying nearly 2,700 bottles of wine from Zacky's auction house.
Oh, wow. He vended a vengeance. They triggered him to turn him to a villain just because of one wine bottle.
Almost $350,000 worth was fake. The auction house settled out of court, but the seller was told to pay $379,000 in damages and another $1,000 for every bottle. But then the next day they went, you know what, we thought about it. This jury has decided to award you $12 million in punitive damages. Jackpot, said Mr. Coke, I'm rich. But a year later, the court changed its mind and awarded Coke only $711,000. Okay, so this guy's like a one-man army, and he's going around trying to scare the shit out of anyone who's selling fake wine. Oh, you've got expensive rare wine, do you?
Yes.
Yeah, I'll buy it then. Yeah, but no, yeah, I'll buy it. No, it's fine. It's genuine, is it? Yeah, you're saying it's genuine. Yeah, definitely. And then he goes and he inspects it, then finds it's fake, and then goes, yeah, I knew all along, stupid. Lawsuit time. By doing this, he's very slowly cleaning up the market. After all of these investigations, Bill has spent around $35 million tracking down fake wine.
But by 2016, Coke was ready to lay down his weapons.
He sold off a big chunk of his collection, and it sold for $22 million. Which means he likely did not break even.
So consider giving to his GoFundMe.
No. It was about sending a message. That's literally what he said. He doesn't care about the money at this point.
Now, this is actually just a very small part of the story. This scandal ended up making such waves across the wine industry that they decided to make a movie about it, based on the Benjamin Wallace book, The Billionaire's Vinegar. And it was set to star Brad Pitt. No, wait. Now it's Matthew McConaughey. No, wait. It looks like it's cancelled.
Oh. Well, that's unfortunate.
Alright, that's the video. Thanks for watching. 4 more to go, but we've already started in on the regular type stuff in case you don't love fancy. Okay.
Fuck me, man. That was nice. But yeah, great breakdown. I did not know that about the Koch brothers. I know that they have acquisition for a lot of art, and they too did that, but when it comes to wine, that was completely new to me. But yeah, this was from the Internet Historian on Incognito mode. Make sure to subscribe to his channel to watch more of his stuff. He has plenty of other things. I was actually pondering if I should check the one on the forest there. The thing with Jake Paul. Oh no, not Jake. Logan Paul was the one who went to Japan. Yeah, eventually might do that.